Yes, I can post this on YouTube if you want me to post this on YouTube. All right, so the quadratic formula. Who knows the little child song? Hold on. The Pop Goes the Weasel. Okay. Okay, so that will be on the video. Awesome. I know. All around the mulberry bush, monkey tree. Okay, but that's not our words today. Okay, so our words goes to that song, Pop Goes the Weasel, and it's our formula for the quadratic formula. Okay? Okay, let me write it down first, and then we'll sing it, okay?
Yay.
I can't slow down my singing and writing at the same time. It's hard. Okay, so there it is, the quadratic formula. Ready? X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Oh, yay! Thank you. All right, so we're going to all sing it. Ready? And go. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yay! Okay, one more time so we can get it. Ready? X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, good job. I promise you this is how I memorize this formula. Like, you don't just memorize the formula without a song. Like, every time I use a quadratic formula, I sing that dang song in my head. And now it's going to be in my head all day long, and it's going to be in your head all day long, too. You're welcome. Okay, so everybody have the formula written down. Okay, because we're going to move on. I'm going to show you how you actually use the formula, okay? Good, yes. Oh, wow. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, so first things first, before we do anything, we need to get this in standard form, right? So let's go ahead and, it doesn't matter if you want to move the 2x to this side or if you want to move the 5x and the 3 to the left side. What do you guys want to do? Okay, so we're going to subtract 2x squared from both sides. Because we want it to equal 0, right? Because that's where what we're searching for is the zeros. So we have negative 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Okay, so before we do anything, we need to determine what are the a, the b, and the c of this formula. I'm sorry, of this equation. What is the a value? Negative, just the negative 2. The a comes before the x squared. Okay, what's the b? 5. What's our c?
3.
Awesome. Now, could I attempt to factor this? Yeah. Now, you know sometimes when it's not factorable, when we can't factor it, we would just write prime. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't go through the x-axis. It still does. It's just a decimal. Okay, so some of these I think you can factor this one, but other ones you won't be able to, and that's why you need to use the quadratic formula. Okay, so, ready? We're going to write it down. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yay! Okay. I believe that, let me check. Yes, this formula, this quadratic formula is on your star chart. Okay, so you don't have to, in the middle of your star test, start singing this song. Okay, you might get in trouble. Okay, so it is right here, quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. It's right there. So you don't have to memorize it, even though this song will help you, right?
No.
Yes.
Our simulation was easy.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Would it actually be easy like that?
I don't know. I don't get to see it.
Why not?
We're recording right now. Let me pause so we can ask questions. Okay. So all we're going to do here is plug in our values into our formula. Because all we have are B's, C's, and A's, right? Which we know those values. So x equals negative b. Well, what's b? 5. So negative b is negative 5. Plus or minus the square root of b squared. Well, we have 5 squared, which is 25. Minus 4 times what's our a? Times what's our c? 3. All of it over 2 times what's our a? Okay. All right, so let's keep on going. But it's not hard. Like, you could do this whole thing, 25 minus 4 times negative 2 times 3 in your calculator. What is 25 minus 4 times negative 2 times 3? Well, let me pause this and pull up the calculator. We are gonna put 25 minus 4 times negative 2 times 3 in our calculator. So 25 minus 4 times negative 2 times 3. Boom. 49. That's the number underneath the radical, underneath the square root sign, right? So really this is just a 49. Over, what is 2 times negative 2? Negative 4. Okay. What's the matter? Okay, so do y'all see how we just simplified all those numbers and got it to 49. And we know what the square root of 49 is, right? Yeah, and notice the plus or minus is already there for you, isn't it? Because the quadratic formula takes into account that it can be either a positive 7 or a negative 7. So x is equal to negative 5 plus or minus 7 over negative 4. Okay. Go with me? Okay, so we have to do what's in the numerator first because this is a fraction bar. You kind of have to think that this is in parentheses. So what this really means is negative 5 plus 7 divided by 4 and negative 5 minus 7 divided by, oops, it's a negative 4, divided by a negative 4. So you have two different answers, two different roots, right? Because we have the plus or minus. We have to do both of them. Okay? Questions? Y'all with me?
Yes.
So what is negative 5 plus 7? 2 divided by negative 4. And then what is negative 5 minus 7? Negative 12 over negative 4. So we have two answers. 2 divided by negative 4, which is what? Negative 1/2. And negative 12 divided by negative 4 is 3. So these are your two solutions. It's a lot of steps. But it's really not that hard. I mean, it looks like a lot of numbers, but most of it's calculator work, right? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna erase this. Now we're gonna do problem number 2. Okay, so we need to make this equal to 0. So plus 2x squared, just plus x squared. There's no 2. Yeah, I knew what you meant. So we're just going to move the negative x squared to the other side. So we have x squared, what? Minus 6x minus 7 equals 0. Okay. Now let's list out our a, b, and c values. What is our a value? Don't say x squared.
X.
No. 1. Your A, B, and C have to be numbers. What number is in front of the x squared?
1.
An imaginary 1. Okay. What is your B value? Negative 6. What is your C value? Negative 7. Awesome. Okay. Need to scoot this up a little so we have some more room. So again, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Perfect. Okay, so we're just going to start plugging in. X equals, what's our negative b? Negative b is positive 6 because our b is negative 6. So our negative b would be negative 6, which is just positive 6. Plus or minus the square root of, what is negative 6 squared? Always, always, always a negative number squared will be positive. Because a negative times a negative is a positive. So negative 6 times negative 6 is 36. Minus 4 times what's A?
1.
Times what is C?
Negative 7.
Okay. What's matter? All over 2 times 1. So we need to figure out what is 36 minus 4 times 1 times negative 7. Calculators. 36 minus 4 times 1 times what? Negative 7. 64. A nice perfect square. Alright, so we have x equals 6 plus or minus the square root of 64 over, what is 2 times 1? 2. Okay. So this is where we are going to square root the 64. So x is equal to 6 plus or minus 8 divided by 2. Okay, once you get to this point, this is where you can split them into 2, right? So we have 6 plus 8 divided by 2, and we have 6 minus 8 divided by 2. Because we have the plus or minus, you have to do both. Okay? You all with me?
Yeah.
Okay, what is 6 plus 8? 14 divided by 2. And then what is 6 minus 8? Negative 2 divided by 2. Okay, so what is 14 divided by 2? 7. And what is negative 2 divided by 2? Negative 1. So your x values, or your solutions, using the quadratic formula are 7 and negative 1. Or negative 1 and 7. Doesn't matter which way you want to list them. Okay? Quadratic formula right there. Any questions so far? Okay. All right, let's move on. Next page. Okay. All right, so yeah, what are we going to do here? Add 1 to both sides. So 4x squared plus 4x plus 1 equals 0. All right. What's our A value?
4.
What's our B value?
4.
And what's our C value? Okay. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we had, when I was in school, we had to memorize this one. We didn't get a formula chart. We didn't have that. So that's how we memorize things, by singing. Okay, let's go ahead. Negative b. Negative 4. Plus or minus the square root of b squared. 4 squared, which is 16. Minus 4 times a. 4 times c. 1. All over 2 times 4. Okay. So So in your calculators, what is 16 minus 4 times 4 times 1? Let me see. 16 times, wait, what was it? Sorry. 16 minus 4 times 4 times 1. 0. And obviously the square root of 0 is 0. Okay, so this is kind of nice. Let me show you why. You're only going to have one answer. Oh, 2 times 4 is all over 8. The reason you're only going to have one answer, because is there such thing as plus or minus 0? No, that just means negative 4 plus or minus nothing, right? So when you have a number underneath your radical, you're going to learn in a second what this number means. When you have it as a 0, you only have one answer. It's just negative 4 over 8. So this just means that our quadratic only touches the x-axis in one place. It's actually at its vertex, right? Because it's got to be the low or the high place where it touches the x-axis, which is also the vertex. Okay? So, what is both the x value and the vertex? Negative half or negative 0.5, right. So that means our graph looks like this. It's either touching once, oh, it's at the positive. I drew the wrong one. Ignore that. So it's touching like this. So it's touching at negative half. But notice that it's also the vertex, isn't it? So is it, can you have a vertex and an x-intercept be the same thing?
Yeah.
Yes. This is showing you that it can. Okay? So when you have a 0 underneath your radical sign, underneath your square root, you only have one answer. Okay? Y'all with me?
Yeah.
All right. If you have this information, can I erase it now?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so let's try our next one. Let's write this guy down. X squared plus x plus 3. You don't have to solve for 0 because it already is, right? Okay, so what is our a value?
1.
Good. What's our b value?
1.
Good. And our c value?
3.
Okay. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. It's going to be your head today, I promise. Yay. So negative b would be negative 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared. 1 squared is 1 minus 4 times 1 times 3. All over 2 times 1. Ooh, you're going to like this one. Okay, in your calculators, what is 1 minus 4 times 1 times 3? Negative 11. Big, big difference. Because 2 times 1 is 2. What is the square root of negative 11? You can't do it, can you? Can you take the square root of a negative? No. So if your number underneath your radical sign is a negative, you're done. Because your answer is no solution. You don't have any solutions because the sign under the radical is negative. That means your graph looks like this or it looks like this. It's never going to touch the x-axis. Okay? That's why it's no, yeah, it kind of looks like a weird person. It actually, since it's positive, since the x squared is positive, it'll be facing upward. So you won't have this here. It'll look like this guy. Any questions about that? Okay. Let's move on. All right. This guy is already set up to equal to 0. What's our a value?
1.
What's our b value? Careful. Careful. Negative 4. Why?
Oh, because of the x.
Yeah. What's our C value?
7. -7.
There you go. There you go. Okay, let me give you a second. I can't catch up. Okay, so rewriting my formula. So when you write it now, you're going to sing it in your head every time. Super fun. Okay, so what is negative b? If positive b is -4, then what's negative b? +4. Okay. B squared. -4 squared is positive. It will always be positive. Any kind of number, negative or positive squared, will be positive. -4 times 1 times -7. All over 2 times 1. Okay, so in your calculators, go ahead and tell me what 16 minus 4 times 1 times -7 is. Okay. Shall I get 44 or 24?
44.
Okay, y'all are... What? 16 minus 4 times what? Times -7. 44. Yes. Okay. All over 2. Okay. So actually when we get to this point, can you take the square root of 44?
Decimal.
It's a decimal, right? Let's look at it in our calculator. Okay. So we don't have pretty whole numbers anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to round. So we're going to do it on our calculators though. We're going to do 4 plus the square root of 44 divided by 2, and then we're going to do 4 minus the square root of 44. Oh my gosh, that's ugly. 4 minus the square root of 44 divided by 2. We're going to do these in our calculator. Ready? Because we have to round, because it's not going to be a whole number. Where it's touching the x-axis is not a whole number. That's okay. So what you have to remember is you have to do the 4 plus the square root of 44 first. So we're going to need parentheses. 4 plus, or you could do it in 2 different steps. 4 plus the square root of 44. Ooh. Okay, I'm starting over. There we go. See how my parenthesis is on the outside of my square root sign? If you want to get out from underneath the radical, you have to arrow to the right and get out from underneath it. And then we're going to divide by 2, right? There you go. 5.32. Let's do 5, because yeah, that 6 is going to round that 1 up to a 2. Okay, so one of our answers is 5.32. Okay, now let's put this guy in the calculator. Same exact thing, it's just got a minus sign. So 4, okay, wait, got to put in parentheses, right? 4 minus the square root of 44. Now watch this, I arrow to the right to get out from underneath the radical sign, then you close your parentheses, and you divide by 2. So negative 1.32. Negative 1.32, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is your other x value. So some of these you'll have to just do in your calculator or you're rounding if you don't have a perfect square root. Okay? All right.
So we do that every time we don't have to.
This little chart that I just gave you is where we're going to learn something called the discriminant. Not the discriminant. We're not discriminating. It's called the discriminant, and you already know what the discriminant is. The discriminant, you'll recognize it. It's b squared minus 4ac.
Oh.
It's the part that's right underneath the radical sign, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Isn't that a part of our
Yeah.
formula? X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. That's the part that's the discriminant. Because remember what would happen when it was a negative? What happened when our discriminant was a negative? Could we take the square root of a negative? No. So our answer was, okay, so that's what we're looking at right here. So what is our A value of this guy? What's our B value? What's our C value? Okay, so all we're going to do here is just the discriminant. We're just doing the b squared minus 4ac. So b squared for negative 4 is 16 minus 4 times, what's our A? 1 times 3. Okay, so what is 16 minus 4 times 1 times 3? Try it in your calculator. I don't know. What did y'all get? 4. And 4 is positive, isn't it? So when your discriminant is positive, you will have 2 solutions. You'll have an 2x value. So it'll touch in 2 different places. Okay, we're just going to stick with, oh, that should go down here. 2 solutions. So, real quickly, what is x squared minus 4x plus 3? Let's put that on our calculator. Go to y equals in our calculator. X squared minus 4x, what is it? Plus 3. And then if you press graph, you should be able to see those 2 solutions. 1, 2. So it touches at positive 1 and at positive 3, right? So our discriminant works out. So I'm just going to kind of sketch that on here. It touches at 1 and 3, and it kind of looks like this, right? That's kind of ugly, but you get the idea. So that's when your discriminant is positive. No matter if it's a perfect square or if it's like 11 or something that's not a perfect square, you'll have 2 solutions, okay? This one was a perfect square because it was 4, right? When your discriminant is a perfect square, you'll have whole numbers as your answers. When your discriminant is not a perfect square, you'll have decimals. Okay? All right, well, let's look at, hold on, yep. We do need to hit the record button. What else do we need to do? Add the 1. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. So our A value is 1. Our B value is, and our C value is, all right. So, okay, yeah, we need to do b squared minus 4ac. So b squared is 4. 2 squared is 4 minus 4 times 1 times 1. Yeah. So we get 0. So we have a 0 as our answer. What do you think how many answers it will be if you have a 0 as your discriminant?
You won't have anything.
You got 1.
Look back at the problem we did a couple problems ago. Our discriminant was 0 and you only have 1 answer. So let's quickly plug this into our calculator to make sure. Whoa, no. 0 solution. It's 1 solution, not 0. Oh, I thought you said no solution. Okay. X squared plus 2x plus 1. Let's plug that in our calculator. X squared plus 2x, right? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Plus 1. And graph it. It should only touch at one place, which will also be our vertex. So our solution is also our vertex here. It's negative 1, 0. So on our graph, right there, only touches at negative 1, 0. That is super duper ugly.
It looks like a V, not a V.
Okay, close enough, right? And then our last guy, you can make a prediction of what this is going to be. We got to subtract the 2x, right? Which becomes our b. Okay. So you have a value is, b value is, and c value. Okay. So b squared minus 4ac. So our b is negative 2. So negative 2 squared is 4 minus 4 times 1 times 2. What do we get?
0.
You don't get 0.
4.
You have to do this part first because it's PEMDAS. So this is negative 8. So 4 minus negative 8 is negative 4. So we have a negative as our discriminant. So if we have a negative as our discriminant, then we will have no solutions. Or 0 solutions, if you want to say. Go ahead and plug it in and let's check and make sure. X squared minus 2x plus 2. X squared minus 2x plus 2. Graph. Doesn't touch, does it? Got close, but it didn't touch. So it kind of looks like that, where it does not touch. All right, that is the quadratic formula and how to find your discriminant.